Alright, so today we're going to be taking a look at what happened to Galvatron between Transformers Age of Extinction and Transformers The Last Knight. And before getting into that, first we need to look at what exactly happened with Megatron and Galvatron in these movies, starting with Transformers Dark of the Moon. At the end of the third film, after proposing a less than sincere truce to Optimus Prime, Megatron has his head ripped off, although this did not kill him. In the 5 years between Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction, Megatron's head was acquired by KSI, Kinetic Solutions, where Joshua Joyce used the data in Megatron's head, along with information from Sentinel Prime's head, to help with building his own Transformers thanks to having a lot of Transformium, the metal that makes up the bodies of Cybertronians. Megatron slowly began manipulating KSI, influencing the creation of the Galvatron body, as it was called by Joshua Joyce, and then eventually putting himself into the prototype body. During the events of Age of Extinction, Megatron goes along with being a human-controlled prototype, now having took full control of the Galvatron body, and infecting the other 50 prototypes that KSI had, including Stinger. He led an assault to get the Seed, which he learned that Lockdown had, but he eventually leaves the battle when the Dinobots arrive and Lockdown becomes involved, and we last see him on a mountain saying that he and Optimus Prime shall meet again and that he is reborn. Then comes Transformers The Last Knight, which has a new design, and he is just referred to as Megatron by literally everybody again. Now, of course, this seemingly causes a discrepancy just because he was still Galvatron at the end of the last movie, and now he's back to being Megatron again in this movie. So, what happened? We're gonna take a look at the most popular theory that the movie definitely seems to support without ever actually saying so. But then I also want to kind of bring up my perspective on it, where I think a lot of people have kind of blown this out of proportion over the years. But the most popular and most likely thing that happened in here is that Quintessa fixed Galvatron, because starting off in The Last Knight, Megatron already has the red mark on his face that we see Optimus Prime get, so clearly he's interacted with Quintessa before this, and he is aware of Unicron, since it is stated by Morshower when he is talking to Lennox that Megatron has been seen at the site of all of Unicron's horns, and of course he's already aware of the staff as well. Of course, how Galvatron could have met up with Quintessa is up for debate. Did she come to planet Earth before the movie and then go back to Cybertron in order to transport it here? Did he somehow get to her on Cybertron? Which in that case, I've always had the, in my opinion, humorous idea in my head of him doing the whole Transformium flying cube transformation thing, just constantly through space in order to fly. I'm not sure why, but that kind of makes me laugh. But in any case, the idea is that he met up with Quintessa, she changed his body, gave him an upgrade, so to speak, and gave him the task that she would also later give Optimus Prime when she corrupts him into Nemesis Prime. Which, hey, makes sense, and details in the movie support this. It's just literally nothing is ever stated. You just kind of have to look at what I'm not even sure I could really call context clues, but for the sake of this, I'll say context clues of him having the mark and already knowing about the staff and Unicron. Now, the thing that I've had on my mind is I do kind of think some people have kind of overblown this to an extent, because while I'm sure Age of Extinction was trying to set up Galvatron as a new character and villain, the way he is portrayed in the movie is he is literally just Megatron in a new body. Now, of course, you can say that with most versions of Galvatron, but even a version like G1 Galvatron ended up being different enough from Megatron to be his own character, more so than just Megatron in a new body. Whereas in Age of Extinction, he is literally that. Megatron even transports his consciousness over into the Galvatron prototype. So essentially, we really should just view this as just Megatron in a human-built body. Now, of course, the big thing that gets in the way of this is when he fully takes control of the body in the KSI factory and he yells out, "I am Galvatron," calling himself Galvatron. This is obviously a reference to when Megatron fully awakens in the 2007 movie in the Sector 7 base, but I've always kind of took that as him sort of mocking the humans and their name for him. Just kind of like, yeah, I'm Galvatron, look at your creation turning against you. I'm sure that wasn't intended when the movie came out, but for me personally, especially now, that's how I look at it. He was just saying that to kind of mess with and scare the humans, long story short. Probably doesn't make complete sense, but hey, that's how I try to work things out. Then of course for me there's the whole Transformium thing. In Age of Extinction, Joshua Joyce says that Transformium is molecular particularly unstable. So for me, it's like maybe it kind of stabilized eventually, or Megatron found a way to stabilize it, and that's why he transforms the normal way now. Of course, maybe transforming him being that way was to kind of establish how it could be programmable. I don't know. And of course, the whole idea with Quintessa still can fit in with this idea. It's just that Galvatron in the Michael Bay movies is not something that you should view as completely separate from Megatron. It was just a name given to a prototype body that characters started calling the body once Megatron had fully taken it over. Obviously, The Last Knight should have done literally anything to explain this, and it blows my mind because I remember even talking to my roommate at the time saying, they'll definitely explain this, it won't be a problem, and yeah. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with the most likely thing of Quintessa basically doing everything? And tell me your thoughts, and if you agree on my proposal of this version of Megatron and Galvatron really not being that separate, so that in the end it's not really that big a deal and it's kind of overblown. Even though I will say once again, The Last Knight should have explained this. I'm not excusing the laziness of not explaining this in the movie. It's just that I don't think it's quite the huge deal that it is made out to be. But hey, as always, a big thanks to everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and maybe subscribe if you enjoyed this. Thanks again, and have a good one, everybody.